So today I'm going to show you how to charge or structure your water. So we get water, it's out of the tap, it comes in a bottle, it's been stored in plastic, it's been mistreated, it's been chemically treated in so many ways. And all of those things, all of the processes that happen with the water that we receive to drink is destroying and damaging the water on a cellular level. It is destroying the structure, the natural structure of the water. And when I say natural structure, this is water like you would find in a river or stream. That water is structured naturally and it's beneficial to you and it's healthy for you. But waters that have been mistreated and abused and chemically treated are not good for you. So, of course, if you're drinking water from a tap, I recommend that you use a filter and try to make sure that you filter out all that you can of the chemicals and things that they put into tap water. Alternately, you can use several methods that I'm about to show you, any one of these methods, to help to restructure that water. The first thing that I'm going to talk to you about is using sound to restructure water in general. So I'm going to start with using my 174 hertz fork, and this is the last note and the lowest frequency on the solfeggio scale. And the purpose of this is to break up any energy interference that might be surrounding or inside of your water. And it just kind of, what happens is it's a frequency, and that frequency runs up against whatever frequency is already here, and it starts to bring it into harmony, and it starts to clear out some of the negativity. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this and get it going. I'm going to pour up a glass of water here too, so we'll have a couple to work with. And so you are beautiful, and thank you, water. So I like to say thank you and that my water's beautiful every time I pour a glass or take a shower. I always say thank you, I love you, because water is primarily what we are. We are over 60% water. Our brain is over 80% water. And because of that, we resonate sympathetically, we pick up on these frequencies, and we can lose our structure or get damaged on a cellular level just like water can. And there are several experiments here that we can reference with regard to water that talk about how it's structured, how it carries messages, intention, and even carries a certain pattern for development. So it's all very interesting. One of the experiments, though, I definitely want to reference real quick. For those of you who already watch my stuff, you know I've talked this one into the ground, but I love Dr. Emoto's crystals because they are such a big eye opener as to what it means to speak and receive someone's words and intentions. And what Dr. Emoto's crystals showed us was that you can damage someone by the things that you say. You can damage them on a cellular level. You could interfere with their development on some level. But alternately, you can heal someone. You can make them better. And you can change them on a cellular level through positive words and intention. So I'm going to show you today how to clear the energies, basically restructure the water with a tuning fork. And you're welcome to play this video, and you can use it with your own water. You can just let it go while I'm doing this process. It'll only take a moment, but I will be speaking through the process as well. So I start by making an arc over the water, and I go in 4 directions: north, south, east, and west. And this kind of clears out the frequency that might be hanging around in the water. It might be trapped in the water. It could be anywhere in this field here that's affecting it. So we're going to just use this simple field right around the water to bring the frequency in. I like to store my water in glass because It's a natural way to store it. Glass will not leach anything into the water. I highly recommend you avoid using any kind of plastic, because plastic will leach into the water. So chemicals will get into your water. So try to avoid using plastic, and filter any water that has come from the tap or come from plastic bottles. So basically what we've done here is we have cleared the frequency of this water, and we've kind of cleared out this energetic field that's surrounding it, and it feels real good. When you feel something in that energetic field, you can feel it. It gives a dissonance on this tuning fork, and sometimes you can even hear it. And when you feel that or hear it or see it, you can push into that and just kind of hang out in that area and just kind of push that energy up, or break it up, push it out, And I feel like this frequency, this wave, is probably greater than the natural frequency of the water. So it kind of, boom, knocks out any kind of negative frequency here. And I feel like your water should be structured here. And I find it really interesting because this one has got little bubbles all around the sides, which indicate to me there's some sort of an oxygen release that's going on. And I don't know if that's caused from the frequency of the pitchfork that's causing this bubbling effect. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it's pretty cool. The other ways that you can charge your water, so if you want to do this with a tuning fork, you can do it with a tuning fork. You can do it with crystal bowls. You can do it with your voice, so you can sing different notes. You can use the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and no, I'm not going to sing for you. But yes, you can use different scales, whatever you want to do to help, whatever feels good for you, to help bring that water into structure. So you don't really even need any tools for that. Your voice is the tool that you need, which brings me to the next way that you can charge your water, and that is through your words and intentions. So what I always do is I literally tell water that it's beautiful and that I love it all the time. I do. And I feel like it is reflected in me because I know that I am water, and that is a connection that I have, that I know, and I feel like I'm telling myself I love me and that I want good for me every time I charge my water. And not just that, but this water is kind of a connection to all things living, and all water can become one eventually through, the process of, being evaporated into gas and coming back down. Water mixes and water becomes one. And that is what we are, because we are water. So one of the ways that you can do that is talk to your water. Tell it it is beautiful. Tell it it is, loved and appreciated and valued, because it is. If we didn't have water, we would not exist. We would cease to be. So water is probably one of the more important things in your life. So I think we need to recognize it as such, right? So I recommend whatever it is that you want to achieve. If you're trying to achieve a goal with your water, like, look, I have some sort of a condition and I'm really wanting to heal that condition, then you need to ask the water, or say to the water, you heal this condition. You heal my body. This water is healing. This water is beautiful. This water is good. And just speak those intentions into the water. You could write it on a piece of paper and then speak it into the water. And I feel like that is primarily the real gist of it. That is all you really need to know about charging water, is just simply speak your intention and send it intention as well, coming from your heart chakra. Another thing that you can do that's always really nice is you can always set your water outside and allow it to absorb some prana, some photons, actually, very much true, photons from the sun. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with sun tea, but we do sun tea here in Texas. And that's where these jugs come from. They're usually filled with sun tea if you see a jug like this here in Texas. But sun tea is so much better than iced tea. It's just kissed with a little bit something divine, you know? And so I feel like placing your water in the sun for like an hour can be very beneficial, and just kind of charge it up with good photons and or prana, however you want to look at that. I feel like they're kind of one and the same. And alternately, you can put your water outside at night. Although there are no visible photons, photons are still there and being absorbed at night in a different sense. They're just not in the visible spectrum. And of course, we know that the moon is reflecting the photons from the sun, and then there's photons coming from stars and all around. So we still have photons even in the dark. So that's kind of an interesting little piece there for you to put in your pocket. There's just one more thing I'd like to mention, and that is, if you've mixed up some water, it's good for probably just a few days. So I wouldn't keep it around for very long. You can use crystals to charge your water, but I do not recommend anybody putting crystals inside of their water, because some crystals are very toxic and water soluble. So they will melt in the water or leach chemicals into the water that could be very, very dangerous. Waving a crystal around the water or setting a crystal near the glass of water is just as effective as placing it inside of the glass. So keep that in mind. And with that, I would say that I have placed a piece of copal in the bottom of my spray bottle. And copal is also, it's not a crystal, it's actually a tree resin, and it's good for clearing energies. And I like to put it in my charged water. It is not water soluble, but if you put anything else in with the water, it could potentially, because I used tea tree oil once, and that, did break down the copal. So just make sure if you put something in there, like copal, it's just water. And I put these in my spray bottle, and I carry this with me, and I can spray it into the environment, and it kind of charges up all these molecules that are in the air. And so I kind of like it. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel refreshed. So I hope this video helped you guys in some way. It was my absolute pleasure. I wish you the very best. Take care.